The alien probe floated silently through Earth's solar system. It was small and sleek, sending data back to stars humans could barely see. Scientists at Deep Space Station 1 first spotted it 3 months ago. Now, in this government building, far below ground, Ambassador Jack Morrison sat at a long table facing his team. They said yes. Lisa Martin's voice echoed in the concrete room. She was Earth's best xenobiologist and had worked through the night understanding the alien response code. The Galactic Council agrees to meet us. Morrison felt his stomach tighten. At 45 years old, he had been ambassador to many countries, but never to alien worlds. His gray hair and steady hands didn't shake, but inside he worried for humanity's future. "When?" asked Ryan Hughes. The young communications expert sat forward in his chair, fingers drumming on the metal table. 2 weeks. They're sending coordinates. For a meeting station. Lisa's eyes were red from lack of sleep. We'll jump there using the wormhole technology they transmitted. The room fell quiet. Every person there knew what this meant. First contact. Humanity joining the galaxy. Morrison had read the reports. The Council had 7 member species. The Korthans were merchants who controlled most trade routes. The Vargoth were warriors with vast fleets. The Xelians had technology that seemed like magic. 2 other species, the Threk and Morvan, were scientific powerhouses. The Drask were diplomats. The last species kept to themselves and rarely attended meetings. "What do we bring?" asked Sean Wallace, the military attaché. His crisp uniform contrasted with the civilian clothes around him. "Nothing that shows our true strength," Morrison ordered. "Standard protocols apply. We observe what others bring. We learn. We do not intimidate." 2 weeks passed quickly. Humanity prepared their best ship for the journey, a civilian transport with basic engines. No weapons, no shields, just a beacon of peaceful intentions. The crew of 15 included scientists, diplomats, and 2 pilots. Captain Kelly Johnson guided the ship through Earth's first artificial wormhole. The jump lasted seconds but felt like hours. When they emerged, a massive structure floated before them. The station was larger than any building on Earth, a wheel of metal and crystal, spinning slowly in space. "Incoming transmission," Ryan announced. He worked his console with practiced ease. "They're sending docking instructions. The docking bay could hold 20 ships. Other vessels were already there, sleek craft with impossible curves, ships that seemed to be made of light, warlike destroyers with weapon ports clearly visible. Humanity's transport looked primitive by comparison, which was exactly the plan. Security checkpoints lined their path. Robotic guards scanned the human delegation thoroughly. Morrison noticed how they took extra time with Sean Wallace, the military man. Finally, they were led to a large chamber with no ceiling, just a view of stars above. Representatives from each species waited there. The Korthans were tall and thin, their gold skin gleaming. The Vargoth stood like soldiers, their scaled armor clicking with each movement. The Xelians floated above seats, their crystalline bodies pulsing with inner light. "Welcome, humans," said the one who must be Speaker Vartosh. He stood tall even among his own kind, a Korthan whose gold skin held patterns of authority. "The Council will now hear your petition." Morrison stepped forward. He had practiced this speech 100 times. "Earth comes in peace. We seek to join the galactic community and share in its knowledge and prosperity." Vartosh's eyes narrowed. "Show us your technology, your culture, your worth to the Council." Lisa Martin activated portable displays. Images of Earth cities appeared. Fusion reactors, space stations around the moon, medical advances that cured diseases, art and music from every culture. The Xelian representative made a sound like wind chimes. Other delegates shifted in their seats. A Vargoth general spoke in harsh tones to his companions. "Is this all?" Vartosh asked when the display ended. The question hung in the air like a blade. "We have more," Morrison began, but Vartosh cut him off. "You reach your own moon with chemical rockets. You think this impresses?" The speaker's laugh echoed off the walls. Your ships burn primitive fuel. Your weapons are toys. Your cities barely touch the clouds. Other delegates joined in the mockery. The Vargoth general stood, his armor making him look 7 feet tall. Our children play with more advanced technology. What protection could you offer the galaxy when you cannot even protect yourselves from your own wars? Morrison felt anger rise in his chest, but he kept his voice calm. We are willing to learn. We offer our unique perspectives, our creativity, our determination to grow. The Threk delegate, whose multiple eyes blinked in sequence, spoke for the first time. Determination is worthless without capability. Your species barely knows how to harness gravity. You are centuries behind us. Perhaps millennia, added a Morvan, whose fur changed colors with emotion. Currently, it was the brown of amusement. Vartosh raised a clawed hand. The council will vote. All in favor of granting Earth membership? Only the floating Zelian raised what might have been a hand. The rest sat motionless. The Zelians abstain, Vartosh announced, misinterpreting the gesture. All others deny Earth's petition. This session is closed. Wait, Morrison protested. This isn't fair. You haven't seen our full capabilities. We have much to offer. What could primitives possibly offer us? Vartosh's voice dripped with contempt. Your ships cannot reach beyond your tiny system. Your weapons are laughable. Your science is elementary. Come back in 1,000 years, perhaps then you will be worth our time. The Vargoth general stepped closer. Consider yourselves fortunate. Many species we discover become subjects. Go home and be grateful we allow you to remain independent. Security guards moved to escort the humans out. Morrison caught Lisa's arm, seeing tears in her eyes. Ryan looked stunned, his usual confidence shattered. Sean Wallace's face was stone, but his hands clenched into fists. As they walked back to their ship, the mockery continued. Aliens in the corridors pointed and made sounds that needed no translation. Humans? Here? How amusing. Back aboard their ship, Morrison gathered his team in the small conference room. Report back to command exactly what we witnessed here. Every detail, every insult, every dismissal. They think we're primitive. Let them. Their arrogance will be their weakness. Sir, Sean asked carefully, are we really going to run Project Ether? Show them what Earth truly has? Morrison's eyes hardened. Not yet. Let them think us weak a little longer. But prepare contingency plans. This wasn't just a rejection. It was a warning. They see us as beneath them, but some of them see us as potential threats to eliminate. The Vargoth general, Lisa whispered. Did you see how he looked at our military attaché? They're already choosing which of us they might acquire as subjects. Ryan was quiet, then spoke up. I intercepted some of their data transmissions while we were docking. They have active slave systems, species that tried to join peacefully and were instead conquered. The weight of this information settled on them all. They weren't just dealing with arrogance, they were facing potential predators. Set course for Earth, Morrison ordered, and encrypt all communications. From now on, we assume they're watching us. Let them see only what we want them to see. The ship turned toward home, carrying with it not just wounded pride but crucial intelligence. Earth had been warned. The galaxy was not the friendly place humans had hoped. It was a place where strength commanded respect, where weakness invited domination, and where appearance could mean survival. As the stars shifted around them during the wormhole jump, Morrison made a decision that would shape humanity's future. Earth would return to the Council, but next time they would come not as supplicants, but as equals. The Galactic Council had mocked humanity. They would soon learn that humanity's greatest talent was turning mockery into motivation and underestimation into opportunity. The Council had made their first mistake. They had let Earth go home. News of the rejection spread across Earth like wildfire. Every major city had protests. People were angry, scared, and humiliated. In homes from Paris to Tokyo, Families watched the footage of human ambassadors being mocked by alien beings. Children asked their parents if the monsters would come. Deep beneath Colorado, in a facility known only as Site 7, the real leaders of Earth's defense met in secret. The room had no windows, no cameras, and walls thick enough to block any signal. 12 people sat around an oval table, their faces tight with worry. "Show them," said Patricia Kane, tapping her fingers on the table. As director of the National Security Space Agency, she had prepared for this moment for years. "Show them everything we've been hiding." General Alexander Brooks pushed a button on his remote. A holographic display filled the center of the table. Ships appeared. Not the primitive vessel that had met the Council, but something entirely different. These craft had no visible engines, no crude exhaust pipes. They were sleek and deadly, with surfaces that seemed to bend light around them. "Project Ether has 17 ships combat ready," said Admiral Susan Martinez. Her bronze star gleamed on her uniform as she leaned forward. "We've been building them in the asteroid belt for 6 years. No spy satellite can reach them there." "And the weapons?" asked Secretary Preston Miller. His civilian suit looked out of place among the military officers. Dr. Tony Chen stood up. At 62, he was the oldest person in the room, but his mind was sharper than men half his age. "Gravitic weapons that can pull ships apart. Quantum computers that predict battle movements before they happen. Shields that use dark matter itself for protection." "How did we do this without them knowing?" asked Ambassador Morrison, still shaken from his council experience. "We showed them what they expected to see," Chen explained. "Old fusion drives, basic lasers, chemical rockets. Their surveillance focused on our public technology. They never imagined we might be developing things in secret." The display changed. Underground complexes appeared, hidden bases, research stations disguised as mining operations. For 30 years, humanity had been preparing a backup plan. While showing a peaceful face to whoever might be watching, Earth had built its true strength in shadows. "The quantum drive alone puts us decades ahead of Corthan technology," said Margaret Cooper, the physicist who had discovered it. "We can jump between stars instantly. Their ships still need time to charge their wormhole generators." "And our AI?" asked General Brooks. "Light years ahead," Chen replied with pride. "Their computers are binary. Ours think in 11 dimensions. Every human ship has an artificial mind that makes their best tactics computers look like toys." The room buzzed with energy. Hope replaced fear. Earth wasn't defenseless. It wasn't primitive. It had simply been very careful about what it let others see. Admiral Martinez brought up ship designs. "The UES Olympus is our flagship. Lieutenant Commander Jake Henderson commands her. He's been training in zero-gravity combat for 8 years. "Why him?" Morrison asked. "Because he was born on Mars colony," Martinez answered. "No Earth gravity to adjust to. Natural reflexes in vacuum. He's flown every prototype we've built." The display showed personnel files. Pilots like Sarah Lewis and Marcus Wright, who had scored perfect marks in alien craft simulation. Engineer Kevin O'Connor, who could repair quantum drives with his eyes closed. Dr. Amy Parker, who had developed medical treatments for space battles Earth had never fought. "We have 5,000 trained personnel ready for deep space operations," said Peterson Gray, head of Special Forces. "They all believe they're preparing for asteroid mining missions. They don't know the enemy exists yet." "That changes today," Kane decided. "We briefed them tonight, but slowly. We need to control the information." General Brooks nodded. "The Vargoth are watching us now. After that council meeting, they think we're easy prey. Let them keep thinking that. But quietly, we mobilize." "What about the public?" asked Secretary Miller. "They're organizing peaceful protests. No alien war signs are everywhere." "Let them protest," Kane said firmly. "The best disguise is a peace-loving planet. If the Vargoth see us preparing for war, they might attack sooner." The meeting continued for hours. Plans were made, timetables set, communication protocols established. By the time they finished, everyone knew their role in humanity's greatest deception. Jake Henderson received his orders that night. At 34, he was young for a ship commander, but his record was perfect. When Admiral Martinez told him the truth about the alien threat, he didn't flinch. "How soon until deployment?" he asked. "Unknown. Could be tomorrow, could be next year. They might decide to attack us or they might ignore us." The Admiral's eyes were serious. "Are you prepared to defend Earth against 7-star nations?" "With respect, Admiral, we just need to show them they can't win easily. Once they see our real strength, they'll think twice about conquest." In asteroid facilities that looked like ice mining operations, crews prepared ships for launch. Engineers, like Emma Rodriguez, ran diagnostics on weapon systems Earth had spent decades developing. Captain James Wilson briefed his pilots while Maintenance Chief Robert Green checked every bolt on every fighter craft. The irony didn't escape them. By showing weakness, Earth had gained time. By accepting insults, they had avoided immediate war. The Council had laughed at humanity's basic technology, never realizing humans had deliberately kept their best work hidden. Dr. Chen walked through the underground labs where quantum computers hummed silently. His team had solved problems the Xelians thought impossible. Human creativity, combined with desperation and secrecy, had achieved miracles. "Will it be enough?" asked his assistant, Dr. Rachel Bennett. "It has to be," Chen replied. "They gave us their measurements, their proudly displayed weapons, their casual discussions about their ship speeds. They think we're too primitive to understand what we overheard. But we do understand. More than understand. We've already improved upon their designs. They use graviton particles in straight lines. We bend them. They use plasma in simple streams. We make plasma dance." In Hawaii, Admiral Martinez stood on a beach watching the sunset. Her fleet waited in darkness beyond the moon. Ships that would make the Galactic Council tremble. Technology that would force them to respect humanity. Her phone buzzed. It was General Brooks. Vargoth scout ships detected at the edge of the solar system. 4 of them. Watching. "Let them watch," she replied. "Deploy our mining drones. Make sure they see lots of primitive activity." "Already done. We're also broadcasting old television signals. They're recording everything." Martinez smiled. The greatest military deception in human history was working. The Vargoth saw mining drones, not warships. They heard old Earth radio, not quantum communications. They detected fusion reactors, not zero-point energy cores. In classrooms across Earth, children learned about space exploration. Teachers showed images of humanity's first contact, painted in optimistic colors. Parents didn't discuss the tension, the military preparations, the secret facilities working day and night. Earth maintained its image of peaceful innocence. TU. Space traffic control in Geneva. Operators tracked civilian flights while secretly monitoring the asteroid belt. Every mining operation, every cargo run, every tourist flight had a dual purpose. Nothing moved without serving the greater plan. "Doctor, long can we keep this up?" asked Ryan Hughes one evening, reviewing intercepted alien communications. "As long as needed," Peterson Gray answered. "The Vargoth are patient hunters. They'll watch us for months, maybe years, before making any move. What happens when they do? Then we show them what humanity truly is. Not the peaceful, primitive species they despise. Not the easy conquest they imagine." Peterson's voice hardened. "We show them Earth's real answer to their mockery." The months that followed were a masterclass in strategic deception. Earth continued its public face of shocked disappointment. Protests against alien contact grew. Peace rallies filled stadiums. Politicians called for unity and understanding. Behind this veil, something else was happening. Pilots trained in secret facilities. Ships were fitted with weapons that could tear matter apart. Scientists broke through barriers the Galactic Council thought unbreakable. And always, Earth watched back. Every alien probe that entered the solar system was tracked. Every signal was analyzed. Every movement was recorded. The data built, slowly, like pieces of a puzzle showing Earth exactly how and where to strike when the time came. The Council had made humanity wait outside their doors. Soon, humanity would make them wait for mercy. The attack came without warning on a Tuesday morning. Kepler Colony, humanity's newest settlement near a red dwarf star, detected ships dropping out of wormholes. No communication, no warning, just destruction. Vargoth warships tore through the mining stations like knives through paper. Civilian freighters exploded in silence. The colony's emergency beacon transmitted desperate messages back to Earth before going dark. Mining Station Alpha destroyed, hospital ship gone, we're evacuating to planet Kepler 4b. They're coming for the civilians now. The message ended in static. Earth's Deep Space Command Center erupted in controlled chaos. Admiral Martinez watched the screens while General Brooks spoke rapid orders into multiple phones. The worst-case scenario had started. Vargoth warships confirmed, reported Captain Lisa Burke from Monitoring Station. 15 destroyers, 3 battlecruisers. Same design. Patterns we've been studying. Survivors? Asked Ambassador Morrison, who had insisted on being present during any crisis. Unknown. The beacon died before full evacuation reports. Burke's voice remained steady, despite delivering terrible news. In Earth's orbit, emergency crews scrambled. Civilian space stations initiated lockdown protocols. Tourist shuttles were rushed back to the surface. Every city prepared for possible orbital bombardment, though leaders knew their shields could likely handle it. 20 minutes after Kepler Colony fell silent, Earth received a transmission, not from humans, but from the Galactic Council. People of Earth. Speaker Vartosh's translated voice filled every communication device on the planet. The Vargoth Empire has acted within its rights. Your colonists entered disputed territory. The Council will not intervene in matters between member species and lesser civilizations. His words were calm, almost bored. Submit to Vargoth control. Peacefully, and your species may survive as servants. Resist and share the fate of your outer colony. The transmission cut to footage. Kepler Colony burning. Ships destroyed. And worse, prison ships loading human survivors in chains. Children crying for parents. The elderly collapsed from fear. Then the ultimatum. You have 24 Earth hours to decide. Surrender will be accepted only once. Cities around the globe watched in horror. The peace protest stopped immediately. Fear replaced anger. The galaxy they had wanted to join had just shown its true nature. Brutal, merciless, and convinced of humanity's weakness. In Colorado, the Secret Council met again. This time, faces were grim but determined. Estimated Vargoth attack force? Asked President William Carter, brought in for this crisis. Their main invasion fleet is gathering, Admiral Martinez reported. 50 warships minimum. They're staging at the edge of our solar system, just like our intelligence predicted. And our fleet status? General Brooks smiled darkly. All ships. Operational, crews ready. We've run every simulation. Vargoth tactics, ship weaknesses, optimal strike points, we know them better than they know themselves. Dr. Chen entered the room late carrying data tablets. I have good news and bad news. Good news. Our gravitic weapons work perfectly. Bad news. The Vargoth shields are stronger than expected based on stolen data. Will our weapons penetrate? Carter asked directly. Yes, but we'll need direct hits, no glancing blows. Chen pulled up tactical displays. Their shield generators are inside their ship hulls. We need pinpoint accuracy. Patricia Kane stood. Then it's time to stop hiding. If we don't reveal our strength now, Earth burns. But if we show our hand completely, they'll respect us or fear us. President Carter finished. Either way, they won't see us as prey anymore. The decision was made. Operation Reveille would commence in 12 hours. Earth's true fleet would deploy. At Orbital Command, orders flowed out in encrypted bursts. Ships powered up their real engines for the first time. The UES Olympus led 17 battle-ready vessels from asteroid hangars they'd occupied for years. Their quantum drives hummed with power that Council technology couldn't match. Jake Henderson sat in his command chair, reviewing pilot assignments one final time. Sarah Lewis would fly point on the starboard fighter wing. Marcus Wright commanded port wing. Every pilot was handpicked, trained for this exact scenario. Captain, called out his communications officer Tyler Park. Earth Command confirms the enemy fleet is moving in. They'll reach Earth's defensive perimeter in 16 hours. Battle stations. All personnel to ready status. Henderson's voice carried through the ship. Engineering. I want those gravitic cannons at full power. Kevin O'Connor's team worked quickly. Every weapon system was checked, double-checked, and tested. The quantum AI predicted optimal firing solutions. Shields calibrated to block plasma weapons the Vargoth preferred. In Medical Bay, doctors prepared for wounded. But Nurse Angela Rice noticed something different. Unlike training exercises, there was excitement mixed with the fear. Earth was done hiding. Done being mocked. Today they would show what humanity truly was. The Vargoth fleet advanced confidently. Their ships were massive, heavily armed, designed for overwhelming force. Intelligence reports showed Earth had no military vessels, just those pathetic mining ships and civilian transports. General Kravoth commanded from his flagship. He had conquered 12 systems for the Empire. This would be his easiest victory yet. These primitives fly ships powered by fusion, he told his command staff. Their weapons are kinetic projectiles and basic lasers. 1 hour of bombardment will end their resistance. His sensor officer reported back to Earth's system edge. They detected nothing unusual. Some mining activity, commercial traffic, frightened civilians running away from his fleet. On Earth's moon, military commanders gathered in the ancient deep defense bunker. Vargoth are entering the trap, reported Commander Scott Thompson from tracking. Their ships are spreading out to surround the planet. Perfect. Time to deployment? 2 hours, sir. Admiral Martinez studied the holographic display. Red dots represented the approaching enemy. Blue dots, hidden until now, showed Earth's real strength ready to strike. The moon's secret space elevators hummed with activity, sending supplies to the about-to-be-revealed fleet. Across Earth, families watched special emergency broadcasts. Leaders spoke of hope, of strength, of surprises the galaxy would never expect. But most people remained scared. The enemy was coming. Earth seemed helpless. Only a select few knew the truth. As night fell across Asia, the first sign appeared. Ships began emerging from what looked like empty space. Not the civilian vessels Vargoth intelligence had reported. These were warships, sleek, dangerous, equipped with technology that made the alien invaders' vessels look crude. The Vargoth fleet detected the gravity signatures too late. "Admiral!" Henderson's navigator shouted. "Vargoth ships are breaking. Formation. They're confused." "Of course they are. They expected lambs and found wolves." Henderson turned to his crew. "Quantum drives to maximum. Shields up. Lock targeting solutions on the lead ship. Let's introduce ourselves properly to the Galactic Council." Earth's fleet accelerated to speeds that defied physics as the Vargoth understood it. Gravitic weapons, charged with enough power to tear battleships in half. The Council had mocked Earth's technology. The Vargoth had come to conquer primitives. They were about to discover how wrong they had been. Humanity had spent years preparing for this moment, and now the true war for Earth's survival was beginning. The crisis had arrived, and so had Earth's answer. The battle began with silence. In space, there was no sound to mark the beginning of Earth's greatest moment. 50 Vargoth warships met 18 human vessels, and for 3 long seconds, neither side moved. Then Earth's fleet opened fire. Gravitic beams, invisible to the naked eye, hit the Vargoth flagship like hammers striking glass. The shields flickered once, twice, then shattered. The massive battlecruiser twisted as gravitational forces pulled its armor plating apart. "Direct hit on enemy command ship." The combat controller's voice echoed through the UES Olympus. Jake Henderson gripped his command chair as his ship shook from its own weapon discharge. "Fighters launch," he ordered. "Attack pattern Delta 7. Sarah. Lewis and Marcus Wright led their squadrons into the void. 75 human fighters swarmed between capital ships, their quantum drives letting them turn impossibly fast. Vargoth defenders tried to track them, but couldn't match their speed. "General, Kravoth's command center burst with alarms. "What is this technology?" he roared. "Their speeds are impossible, our sensors can't lock onto them." His tactical officer was sweating, claws clicking frantically on controls. "General, they're weapons. They're not using plasma or particles. They're manipulating gravity itself." A human destroyer, the UES Thunder, commanded by Captain Emma Rodriguez, dove below two Vargoth battleships. Her gravitic cannons created a gravity well between the enemy vessels. The two massive ships were pulled together, their hulls crumpling like paper. "Target destroyed," Rodriguez's weapons officer celebrated. The Thunder wheeled away from the collision, its adaptive armor shifting to protect against retaliation fire. On Earth, billions watched the battle through quantum-linked relays. In homes and public squares, people saw humanity's true power for the first time. Children gasped as ships that seemed like science fiction performed maneuvers their teachers had called impossible. The Vargoth fleet tried to regroup. 20 ships formed a defensive sphere, concentrating their fire on the UES Olympus. Plasma streams converged on humanity's flagship. "Shields at 60%, warned the defense officer. Henderson remained calm. "Transfer power from rear shields to forward. Navigation, bring us about. Weapons, prepare the gravitic pulse." The Olympus turned to face its attackers. For a moment, it looked like a single ship charging 20 enemies in a suicidal attack. Then it fired. A wave of gravitational energy exploded from the flagship. Space itself warped as the pulse hit the Vargoth defensive sphere. Ships were thrown away from each other like leaves in a hurricane. 3 smaller destroyers couldn't compensate for the sudden movement and tumbled helplessly. Human fighters pounced on the disorganized enemy. Precise laser fire targeted weapon ports and shield generators. The Vargoth warriors, who had dominated space battles for centuries, found themselves outmatched by what they had dismissed as primitive technology. "Enemy flagship attempting to retreat," reported Sensors Officer Bradley Mitchell. "Not a chance," Henderson growled. "All ships, focus fire on Kravoth's vessel. Let's send a message to the Council." The combined firepower of Earth's fleet converged on the Vargoth command ship. Gravitic weapons tore through shields. Quantum precision lasers struck weak points identified by months of simulated combat. The massive vessel tried to rotate its heavy armor to protect critical systems, but human ships attacked from every angle. On the Vargoth flagship's bridge, alarms screamed warning after warning. Kravoth's officers reported casualties mounting, systems failing, hull breaches throughout the ship. "General," his communications officer pleaded, "we have to surrender. Our ships are being destroyed too quickly." "Never!" Kravoth's pride wouldn't allow defeat to primitives. "All ships ramming speed. If we die, we take them with us." Several Vargoth vessels turned toward human ships, engines overloading for maximum velocity. The Council's preferred suicide tactic might at least cost Earth some of its fleet, but Earth had prepared for this too. "Ramming maneuver detected," reported the tactical AI aboard the Olympus. "Executing Counter Protocol 9. Human ships didn't run or dodge. Instead, they moved with precision timing. As Vargoth vessels approached at suicidal speeds, Earth's warships used their gravitic weapons differently. Instead of destruction, they created gravitational fields that redirected the enemy ships. 3 Vargoth destroyers, meant to collide with the Thunder, found themselves pulled past their target, spiraling into empty space. A battlecruiser trying to ram the Olympus was caught in competing gravity wells. Its trajectory shifted just enough that it sailed past harmlessly. "They even control gravity for defense," breathed a junior Vargoth officer, watching in horror as his comrades' desperate attacks were turned aside. The battle lasted only 17 minutes. When it ended, the Vargoth had lost 38 ships. Earth's fleet suffered damage but no losses. General Kravoth's flagship, the Black Talon, drifted powerless in space. Its engines were destroyed, weapons offline, life support failing. Through the growing static of a failing comm system, Earth's translator picked up Kravoth's transmission. "I yield." The Vargoth Empire yields to Earth, but Henderson wasn't satisfied with just a military victory. Broadcast to the entire Council, encryption code they can't ignore. Tyler Park worked his station. Channel open, sir. The Council is receiving. On every Council world, at every embassy, and station, the battle footage played automatically. The Galactic Council watched in shock as Earth's secret technology demolished one of their strongest military powers. "This is Captain Jake Henderson of the United Earth Fleet," he announced. "Today you saw the consequences of underestimating humanity. The Vargoth Empire attacked our citizens. We have responded appropriately. Let this be a lesson to all Council members. Earth is no longer hiding. We claim our place among the stars not through submission, but through strength." Across the fleet, cheers erupted. Sarah Lewis performed a victory role in her fighter. Engineers like Kevin O'Connor hugged each other in celebration. Even the medical teams prepared for massive casualties celebrated treating only minor injuries. Dr. Chen watched from Earth's command center with quiet satisfaction. 5 years of secret research, 10 years of hiding our true capabilities, all worth it for this moment. "What happens next?" asked President Carter, still processing Earth's decisive victory. "Now," said Admiral Martinez with a smile, "they see us. They see our strength. And for the first time, they will treat us as equals." Through quantum channels, messages poured in from across the galaxy. The Xelians sent technical analysis of the battle, impressed by human gravity manipulation. Even Corthan traders transmitted congratulations, already calculating new trade opportunities. Only from the Vargoth Empire came silence. Their military doctrine had no provisions for total defeat from primitives. As Earth's fleet began securing the battlefield and rescuing Vargoth survivors, Henderson received a priority transmission. The Galactic Council requested immediate diplomatic talks. "Tell them," he instructed Tyler Park, "we'll be there. This time, as members, not supplicants." On Earth, the celebration continued through the night. No more protests against alien contact. No more fear of the unknown. Humanity had met the galaxy's strongest warriors and proven themselves superior. The mocking had ended. Respect had been earned through the only language universally understood, the superiority of their technology and the strength of their will to defend their own. Earth had taken its place among the stars not with begging or diplomacy, but with the thunder of gravitic cannons and the silence of quantum drives. The Council that had laughed at humanity now waited nervously for Earth's demands. And on distant worlds, species that had dismissed Earth as primitive now spoke of humans with careful respect. The era of Earth's isolation had ended. The age of humanity's true emergence had begun. The Galactic Council Hall looked different now. The same glass ceiling showed the same stars above, but everything else had changed. Where once the Council members had laughed at humanity, now they sat in tense silence. Speaker Vartosh no longer smiled with confidence. The Corthan leader's golden skin seemed pale as he opened the emergency session. "The Council recognizes Earth's representatives." Ambassador Jack Morrison walked into the chamber with a straight back and firm steps. Behind him came Admiral Martinez, Dr. Chen, and Captain Henderson. This time they weren't asking for membership, they were discussing terms. 3 days ago, Morrison began, Vargoth forces attacked our colony in the Kepler system. They killed civilians. They took prisoners. They threatened our homeworld with invasion. He let the silence grow heavy before continuing. Yesterday, Earth defended itself. The results speak for themselves. The display showed the battle footage again. Earth ships tearing through Vargoth defenses, gravity weapons pulling apart alien vessels, quantum drives moving at speeds the Council had thought impossible. "The Xelian representative wishes to speak," announced Vartosh, his voice strained, the crystal being floated forward, lights pulsing inside its form. "We knew humanity had potential." The translation came through clearly. "We did not know they had already surpassed us." Murmurs filled the chamber. The Xelians were thought to be the most advanced species in the Council. For them to admit humans had better technology was shocking. "Quantum gravity manipulation," the Xelian continued. 11-dimensional AI guidance systems, adaptive armor that shifts at the molecular level. Our scientists theorized these technologies. Yours built them." Morrison nodded politely. Earth kept its advances hidden for good reason. Your council made it clear that primitive species become servants, not partners. The Corthan Defense Minister, a tall figure with elaborate gold patterns, spoke next. Our military analysts have completed their assessment. Earth's combat strength exceeds any single council member. More whispers, more nervous glances. The balance of power had shifted overnight. The council chamber recognizes the Vorth delegate, Vartosh announced. A being covered in thick green scales approached. The Vorth had been humanity's loudest critics during the first meeting. Now their ambassador spoke with careful respect. The Vorth Collective offers Earth a military alliance, full technology exchange, joint defense pact. The offer hung in the air, surprising even Morrison. Other species quickly followed. The Morvan offered trade agreements. The Threk suggested scientific cooperation. Even the usually silent seventh species sent signals of diplomatic recognition. Admiral Martinez watched with satisfaction. Amazing how quickly attitudes change when you show your strength, she whispered to Chen. The doctor smiled. They knew we were smart. They didn't know we were dangerous. Vartosh raised his clawed hand for silence. The matter of the Vargoth attack must be addressed. Their empire violated council protocols by attacking without formal declaration. What about the prisoners they took? Henderson asked sharply. Our people from Kepler Colony. For the first time, a Vargoth spoke. Not General Kravoth, who remained under guard on his damaged ship, but a civilian diplomat rushed to the council in desperation. The prisoners will be returned immediately, the Vargoth promised. All of them, unharmed. The Empire... He hesitated, clearly finding the words difficult. The Empire apologizes for its actions. Morrison raised an eyebrow. Apologies are appreciated. Justice is required. The Vargoth Empire will pay reparations for all damages and lost lives. They will withdraw from the entire Kepler sector. This is outrageous, the Vargoth diplomat started, then saw the cold looks from around the chamber. Even their traditional allies were abandoning them. We accept these terms. Vartosh tapped his ceremonial staff on the floor. The council will now vote on Earth's membership. All in favor? Every representative raised their hand or equivalent appendage. Even the Vargoth, knowing rejection would only worsen their situation. Earth is granted immediate council membership, Vartosh announced, with full voting, rights and defense pacts. He looked directly at Morrison, adding quietly, We may have miscalculated. The Earth delegation accepted with dignity, no celebration, no gloating. Just the quiet confidence of a species that had proven itself through action rather than words. Later, in a private meeting room, the Zelian representative approached Dr. Chen. Your quantum gravity theories should have taken centuries to develop. How did humans achieve this? Chen smiled. We had motivation. When you believe the galaxy might try to enslave you, you work faster. Earth's delegation returned home as heroes. News of their victory spread across every continent. The quantum drives that powered their warships became symbols of human ingenuity and determination. Admiral Martinez addressed the United Nations the following week. The galaxy now knows what humanity is capable of. Our place among the stars is secured not through begging but through respect. In research labs worldwide, scientists who had worked in secret for decades could finally show their discoveries. Dr. Rachel Bennett led a team explaining gravity manipulation to excited students. Engineer Kevin O'Connor demonstrated adaptive materials that could reshape themselves instantly, but Earth's leaders remained cautious. We share some technologies, President Carter told his advisors. Not all. Trust takes time to build. In orbital shipyards, construction began on new vessels. Not just warships, but research craft, colony ships, exploration vehicles. Humanity was expanding outward, this time without hiding its strength. On the moon base, Ambassador Morrison met with Captain Henderson before the captain's next mission. The Council wants to establish a permanent Earth embassy, Morrison explained. They're offering us the largest chamber in their complex. Henderson laughed. Quite a change from being mocked in the hallway. Fear can look like respect, Morrison warned. We need to be careful. Not just careful, smart. Henderson looked out the viewport at Earth glowing blue below them. We showed them our military strength. Now we need to show them why humanity deserves respect beyond our weapons. In the following months, Earth's influence grew. Human medical techniques saved thousands on a Threk world hit by a virus. Human art fascinated Korthan traders. Human diplomats helped resolve conflicts that had lasted centuries. The species that had once called humans primitive now sought their friendship and knowledge. Schools across the galaxy taught human history. Quantum gravity theory became the foundation for new technologies shared between worlds. 1 year after the battle that changed everything, Speaker Vartosh visited Earth personally. Standing beneath the ancient trees of Yosemite, he addressed a global audience. The Council did not see humanity clearly at first, he admitted. We looked for technology that matched our own. We measured progress by standards set over millennia. The golden-skinned diplomat looked around at the natural beauty of Earth, then continued. We failed to understand that true advancement comes in many forms. Earth's greatest strength was never its weapons, but its ability to hide them until needed, to show patience when mocked, to wait for the right moment to reveal its power. Across the planet, humans listened with pride. They had earned their place among the stars not through conquest but through wisdom and strength combined. In deep space, Earthships now traveled freely. Human colonies spread across multiple star systems. The species that had been laughed out of the Council chamber now helped lead the galaxy into a new age of exploration and discovery. The Galactic Council had mocked humanity until Earth's warships arrived. Now they called humanity friend, ally, and equal. And somewhere in distant space, other young civilizations looked toward Earth with hope, knowing that strength and patience together could overcome even the oldest prejudice. Earth's journey among the stars had truly begun.